cool. We're up and rolling here. So,
so we got video and everything.
We're doing it.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
we're doing the whole
All
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Sitting in the room with Jeff Anderson, and it was supposed to be Blake. Okay, we're gonna do the last name thing because Blake Kite or Blake Knight. Let's solve this.
It's Blake Kite, but it's funny because when I first met him, he had been friends with this other guy named Josh for years and years.
Josh Knight?
No,
Oh, okay.
but Josh, like, he kept telling me, and I thought he was like fucking with me, and he's like, yeah, Blake Knight, you know, and I was like, that's not his name. Like, Blake told me it was Kite.
Yeah.
And Josh was like, oh yeah, Blake Knight. And then I asked him, I was like, why do you keep saying that? He's like, is that not your last name?
Oh, shit, yeah.
And Blake's like, no.
See, I was talking with who was in here? Oh, it was the Band Repent with Jeremy and Sean Hill.
I met Jeremy.
Yeah, dude, isn't he a cool guy?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Man, talk about fucking ambition. That guy, like, he kind of inspired me a little bit, dude.
That dude's nuts.
He's just go, man.
Yeah,
like,
his marketing is
stay
out of control.
I
for
stay
Facebook. You know?
Right. I stay busy, but fuck, man, he like ambitiously stays busy. He's like, I want to stay busy.
He posted something today where he was talking about. Well, it wasn't about him, but it was about like a PR thing.
Okay.
And he was just like, well, this works, and you've heard about us, right? And I was like, yeah, but that's you. Like, you don't. I mean, if you think that you want that, that's totally cool.
Right.
But it's you that I'm seeing going ape shit.
And that's the thing is, like, yeah, it's one band or one guy that's representing the band, which is cool. That's usually how that stuff starts.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the ambition to do that for sure. So I've been telling, if you guys hear scratching, you shouldn't hear any of it because it's all compressed. But there's a zoo going on right now. Anytime guests come into the house, man, the animals decide to go fucking crazy.
Oh, mine are the same way.
And she's got new dirt in the litter box, so she's like, the cat's like freaking out, like
yeah,
Jones, and like,
gotta fuck it up.
Fresh poop spot, man. So if you guys hear scratching or anything going on, or you see us randomly laugh at something, it's because the animals are in here doing their zoo stuff. So Blake Kite.
Kite.
We put that shit to rest. It's Blake Kite.
Blake Kite.
I was totally unsure. I think I've called him Knight before a few times.
Everyone I did it once, but like I said, I had met Blake first. And he told me his last name. I was like, okay. So I was just, and I thought the other guy was fucking with me. But yeah, people that have been friends with him for years call him Knight too.
And
it's just like, all right.
It's easy enough to mistake, I would assume, you know, because you see it on Facebook, and if you're just scrolling through and looking at last names, like, Blake Knight,
whatever.
Yeah. So
it's happened to him for years. So I'm sure he doesn't give a shit at this point. He's like,
That's
whatever. Yeah, that's me.
I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, you know what, man? Like 25% of this podcast is basically people coming in here and me learning their last names.
Yeah, figuring the basics out.
Yeah,
where are you from? What's your name?
Pretty much, like, and how do you say your last name? 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen it on the internet, but I cannot fucking pronounce it.
Well, that's why you got to try to act like you have your shit together. Be like, so I know how to say it, but for the people out there, you know.
See, that's a great idea. That's a great way to premise that.
Just FYI.
Yeah. Speaking of last names that are hard to pronounce, and again, I actually talked to these guys this morning, but I fucking name drop them on every podcast. So you guys are like the most famous guys on my podcast. From Ash to Stone, Jeremy.
I don't know any of those dudes.
Whiskey. I don't know. I'm going to ask him about it. But if you look that dude up on Facebook, he's got like one of the hardest last names ever.
Oh, so. I'm sure it's going to catch my eye now.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those guys.
Really?
I don't know if I've even seen them live.
I've seen them a few times, but they went on a hiatus, and I don't know the exact. That's part of the reason why I want to have them in here, because I got to figure out. There's a gap in their timeline somewhere, and I don't know what happened. I think they went through like a lineup change or something like that.
Together.
Yeah, so I want to get them in here mainly just to talk about that.
I don't know anything about them. I've never met them.
They're fucking cool dudes. Their now guitar player was drummer, Derek Vigil. Do you know the name at all?
I know the name.
Yeah, he actually is. I didn't really. They're going crazy out there. That's the zoo. I didn't know anything about him until I bought the Subaru that's sitting in the driveway, and he is essentially like a master fucking mechanic.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he owned the car before I did.
Oh.
But I was talking to the guy who sold it, or who sold it to me, and he's like, "Do you know Derek Vigil?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think he's in a band in town, right?" And he was like, yeah, he's in a band. And I was like, cool. And he's like, yeah, he rebuilt the entire engine. And I was
okay.
Like,
that's cool that you get like access to someone, you know what I mean?
So I actually got a hold of him like a week after I bought the car and was like, hey man, just want to let you know, like, I bought your old car. And he was like, yeah, dude, I was talking to Mitch down the guy that works at 307 Motors. He was like, I was talking to Mitch about that. He said that you bought it. And I was like, so I don't really know you that well. Like, give me the skinny, man. Like, what's the deal? And he straight up told me, like, I didn't preface it with anything. I was just like, what's wrong with the car? And he was like, oh, dude, I rebuilt that engine from the ground up.
Nice.
And I was like,
there you go.
Fuck yeah. And on those Subarus, dude, that's like the best news you can hear, especially coming from someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are fucking littered with problems.
Yeah,
so.
I would never Like I said, my buddy, when we were talking earlier, my buddy had one. I was just like, cool. I'm gonna stick with my truck.
Yeah.
So.
Stick with something that fires up and down. That's the best way to do it. Anything that fires side to side is bound to cause you fucking problems, man. I replaced the spark plugs in it a few weeks back, and holy shit, what a fucking nightmare,
That's
dude.
a problem every time.
It was fucking, oh my god, dude. Like, because the pistons fire this way, and the frame of the car sits right here, and then the head cylinders and shit sit right here. So you got to get a fucking wrench down in there, and it's like it's the small spaces.
Your arm
thing.
doesn't bend this way, but somehow they fucking got it.
And neither do the fucking wrenches, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how the fuck do you get this?
I hate any sort of car work like that.
Really?
Like I can do stuff, but it's always one of those things where even if it's a 10-minute thing, it'll end up being like a 45-minute ordeal, and I'm fucking screaming in the garage. Like I can't do it.
Find a way to turn it into a whole day project.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
so good at that, man.
I can do it, but it's gonna take. I'm to the point now to where I will just. I don't care anymore. Well, you're not a man. I don't give it. I will pay. So I'll pay a man.
Yeah,
to
no
go
shit.
and fucking
no
do,
shit.
You know.
You know what it takes a man to admit that he's not going to do that fucking work and going to pay somebody. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah,
man.
I can't stand it.
I don't mind doing some automotive work. The automotive work that I don't like doing is the repair work. I love doing upgrades.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Fucking great. You know, when you know you're getting a colder intake or you're doing something performance enhancing, which is fucking awesome. But that's rarely the case when it comes to owning a vehicle.
Yeah, I've never done anything that crazy. I've been with people that have done that. I used to have a Nova.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But, you know, that same thing, you got to work on it constantly. There's a reason those guys are always in their garage working on it. And it's not because I'm sure they enjoy it, but it's because the fucking thing breaks. They just constantly.
You put 50 miles on it. And it's like, well, now I got to replace this thing. And then you put another 50 miles.
I had to jet it down. I had to jet it up. I had to change the carb. I was like, everything. All right, I didn't. Okay, I'm done.
My cousin, shout out Brian Greenlee. He is essentially built a Dodge Charger from the ground up. He found a body and basically built an entire engine for it. And he brought it out to my mom's house a week. It was when I was changing the spark plugs, actually. He came over and showed me all the work that he's done on that thing, man. I have some serious appreciation for anyone that can.
It's anyone that can get into it.
That takes the time and is like, knows, like, it comes down to like the camshafts and the crankshaft and stuff for me. When you get that far into the engine, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm probably going to fuck something up.
I don't have the patience anymore.
And it's so precise. If something is even like a centimeter off, it's like, oh, the engine's not going to run. You got to tear the whole motherfucker apart.
I'm over it. I don't have the patience.
At that point, I'm like, sell it. Like, let someone else fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing with the Nova. I was like, cool, here you go. I got a shitload of money for it, but yeah.
That's good. What year was it?
It was a 74.
Ooh,
so
it's a good year.
I love the body style on that more. And but yeah, I bought it for like 12 or something.
Oh Jesus!
And I sold it for 19.
Oh yeah, good for you, man.
So I was like, cool, get the fuck out of my driveway.
That's a flip and a half, man.
Yeah,
that works.
Yeah, I was, cool. Goodbye.
Yeah,
don't miss it at all.
Did it have the 305 in it?
No, some dude had rebuilt it and it had a 427.
Oh my god!
And it was nice. It had it had traction bars. It had a whole bunch of shit. It had a shift kit in it. So
my God.
Even when you were like, we'd be driving down 2nd Street, and I'll back up off the mic so I don't know this shit out people. But you'd just be driving, and the second it goes into second gear, it's
oh
yeah,
yeah,
you know, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, dude. Yeah, that's a fucking big motor. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a gnarly car. I liked it, but it was too.
That's a lot of muscle.
Fuck with it.
It's a lot of muscle and it's a lot of work for sure.
I was done.
Again,
so, beautiful car, but I was over it.
One of my buddies had an old Nova, and I think it had a 305. It was either 305 or a 350 in it, and it was old and shitty, and it's still like those things fucking put out.
It was a great car, but it just I don't have the patience to work on it.
Yeah.
So
and they're somewhat impractical when you live in a place like Wyoming. You know.
Yeah. It was horrible. It
rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's in the garage or in the driveway.
In the garage 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I got I wanted a fast car, but I also wanted something that was somewhat practical. You know? And so that's why I got into the
my
WRX.
wife wants one. She wants a Subaru. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here.
If she gets one, just tell her to get an Outback. Just tell her to get an Outback because that's the best way to go for a Subaru.
Yeah,
they're still fast and you can haul the family around.
She wants it for the space, and I'm just like, get a goddamn
at that point
Yukon.
Get an SUV. Yeah, SUV or
So.
the Dakota that you're driving. Is that a Durango?
Durango. It's
okay.
actually it's her dad's.
Okay.
So he gave it to us. So it's like, cool, free vehicle, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Clearance, man. Especially on days like today. So that's
fucking shit.
Like I said, I just drove to Walmart this morning, and just getting out of my neighborhood. Once I'm out on 2nd Street, it's fine. But like getting out of this neighborhood, I'm like passing people's houses.
Yeah, mine's the same.
Just trying to get up the street.
Oh yeah, I just took a picture today. My fucking neighbor, who
I was almost that guy.
blocking half the street.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I was almost that guy today. When I came home from the store, I parked on the sidewalk here where
Yeah.
you were. The way you pulled in when you first got here.
Yeah.
And I shoveled out the driveway, and I was like, okay, just got to get the car out into the main part of the street, and then I can back up and get in the
Yeah,
driveway.
then I'm
Well,
okay.
I went to drive forward and just get out of from the curb and started driving forward, and the whole car was just kind of like, no, we're gonna turn around.
Yeah,
and I
well,
was
this
like,
is where we're going.
And then I was halfway in the middle of the street, and of course you can't get over the bump because the car started. And I was like, motherfucker, am I gonna be that guy right now? Luckily,
Yeah.
I was able to finagle it around, but
that's when you just run away, so no one sees you. I'll come get it in the dead of night.
yeah, there's a couple. I don't know who they are, but there's a couple people up the street that are. I call them the Subaru kids because there's like a WRX and STI, an old like '95 Legacy GT.
There's always that group of kids with each like generation.
Yeah, that's what it is up the street. So if that did happen, I was just gonna get out and be like, oh no, I think it was one of theirs.
Those bastards
I'm
up
not
there.
sure. It's all the Subaru kids. I don't fucking know. Yeah. So anyways, so car rant a little bit. Yeah.
That's the car podcast. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, that's the name shout out in the car podcast. So yeah, I was going to ask you, we were talking about when you first got in here, we were talking about video shooting and editing and stuff. So if you guys don't know, and there's actually a lot of questions I can ask you because I don't really know you that well either.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We've met each other in passing, and
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know me that still wants to come on and do a podcast, like don't be afraid, man. I don't give a shit. Come in
Just
and talk.
bother him.
Yeah.
First time you meet him, be like, hey. What's up?
Yeah, just ask, man. I'll get you in here. But so we were talking about, first of all, let's get into a music thing because we were talking about playing guitar earlier, and you told me you have a really sick ass guitar. Do you play in Beastwood?
Yeah, I'm the drummer.
Oh
so, yeah,
shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have met before.
Yeah, it was once like super briefly, and then
Yeah.
it's been in passing, and then a couple weeks ago or whatever is when we like officially met.
I got you. So you guitar player or drummer?
I'm the drummer for Beastwood.
But like by trade.
I taught myself when I was like 13.
Kudos, dude. I taught myself also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started with that. I don't even remember how it started. I just remember I was like air drumming a lot.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and my grandma, she just walked in the door and she was like, "Are you interested in drums?" Because she would like catch me, and I was like, I don't know, I've never even been around a set.
This is fun. So yeah, sure.
Yeah, and like I did the same thing with like pillows on the bed.
Oh yeah.
And so she asked me that, and I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it. And then that Christmas, she bought me I don't remember what brand, but it was a Ludwig kit.
Oh really?
And I don't remember what it was.
Those are good entry level kits.
Yeah,
man.
I hate that I sold it though. I sold it for a kit that I still have today. But
hey, at least you kept the money in the music though.
yeah, so ever since I was 13, I taught myself, and then I had played guitar on and off for a super long time, but I never got good enough to really like lay into it, just like easy chords.
Yeah.
But now, since I've had more time, I'm trying to like take it seriously and like really get into it. So I've been writing some stuff, and I have some projects in the works, but that aren't even near worth talking about yet.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, you can ask questions, but there's really nothing going on yet. It's me sitting in a room looking like an ass. Like, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, dude, I got a whole workstation over here for self-deprecation. Like, that's all I fucking do over there, man. You record something, you're like, God, that's what that sounds like?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. I guess I got to rethink my entire life at this point, dude.
But yeah, no, I've been playing drums primarily, and I don't think I've played anything else in another band.
Okay.
So.
And with this guitar thing, are you planning on like starting a new project with it?
Yeah,
or?
I have two in the works. They're named, but I don't want to share the names.
No, that's fine.
I've done that before where I've like said the name and I was like, that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then someone else will come, like it'll pop up later. Like we had, by the way, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But we had a guy named that I don't think you've had them in here yet. Nick Knock, do you know him?
Oh yeah, I know Nick.
He
Definitely.
used to play bass for Beastwood.
He's the drummer now in System Restore, right?
No, it's Jeff.
Oh, his brother Jeff.
yeah,
That's right. That's right.
That's Jeff. But
the
Nick,
Knock brothers.
Yeah, but Nick played for us, and God damn it, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Drumming, I think. Drumming, playing guitar, starting projects.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
That
Jesus,
might be the first time I've ever been able to recall a conversation in
but
here.
I told him, I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I really like to start this hardcore band, and I think it'd be awesome to use the name Low Life. And I just thought it was cool.
That is a good name.
And I was like, Low Life is fucking awesome. And he's like, oh no, it sounds kind of weird. I was like, just think about it. Like
Yeah.
I think it's a good name.
It's a great name.
And then I never did anything with it. And like 2 years later, a band called Low Life came out, and they got fucking. It's not because of the name. It's not like I missed out, but yeah, they are this pretty decently sized band. I started seeing ads on Instagram. I was like, you pieces of shit.
That was my idea, damn it.
But dude, that's happened a couple times. Again, I'm not like you know, like conspiracy theorists were like, there's someone's reading my thoughts.
I have conspiracy theories on here. We can get into that.
Fuck it, let's do it. But I've done that where I've had an idea for something and just never put it out when I thought to do it, and then it pops up somewhere later. And it's happened twice with Mastodon, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a video with Beastwood where we, it's not technically the same, but it kind of is, where we went down to Denver and we were going to hire a bunch of strippers and we were going to shoot like kind of like a normal video, but then all of a sudden just integrate like a bunch of girls just shaking their asses.
That's such a good
idea.
idea.
I wanted like full blown like ghetto chicks with just huge ass, you know, and just like money all over the place. I thought it'd be hilarious. And then like 3 years later, the Motherload came out, and it's a Mastodon video where it's like all old timey and kind of Games of Thrones ish. And then all of a sudden these girls come in just shaking their ass. Dude, it's a great video. And I was like, what the fuck, you know? And then one other time,
all right, I'm keeping my fucking mouth shut from now on.
Oh, dude, for sure. And then the other time was we do these if you go to like Beastwood's YouTube, which it's just Beastwood Band.
There you go.
If you want to go and check these out. But we make like little like skits or like promo videos for shows and stuff. So I've got like a million ideas of stuff to do. And I wanted to do this one where we were like in an interrogation room. Ooh. And I was going to like pixelate my face and change the voice.
I like that.
And have them just like have whoever like asking me these questions or whoever asking these questions about like what the show details are, and be like, I don't know if I can tell you that. I don't feel comfortable talking about that. And we just never did it. And then again, like a year later, Mastodon they were putting out these funny videos for their record, and their goddamn drummer did that.
No way.
And he's straight up same thing. And you can ask Blake, Jake, Tanner, anybody else in the band. And like a couple years later, or like a year later, when they were working on their latest record, he's in there and he's like, they're like, so where are you recording the album at? It's like, I can't tell you if we're recording or not. You know, and they're like,
your exact idea.
Oh
basically.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
dude.
Mastodon twice. You know.
All right, let's get into conspiracy. Dude, they plugged your ass, man. They're following you, bro. If they've done it twice now.
I mean,
man,
fuck, man. If I'm gonna lend ideas to any band, it's probably gonna be them. Those dudes are great.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
But yeah, it's happened a couple times. But you know, whatever. But we try to do stuff like that, and that's 3 times that my ideas have been stolen. So now I don't just say anything.
You're like, no,
That's why I'm saying, like, you know, I have a couple projects that I'm working on, but names are fucking staying with me. You know,
I'm not revealing anything until they're out.
I think Blake is the only one who knows one of the names.
Okay.
So if it gets out, it's Blake's fault, and I'll find him.
You heard that, Blake? It's gonna be your fault. Hey, shout out to you, by the way, for your Casper Music community page. I'm not exactly sure what the name is.
Yeah, he's got a new page up, and
it's a great page, man.
I'm just gonna find it.
And shout out to you, to Blake, for doing the sound thing, man. Like, he's really taking the initiative to like start booking shows, and really that's what it takes, man. It takes somebody with some gear that's willing to haul it and like not charge a lot for it, right? So
yeah, he's well, part of the reason he's doing that, and I hope this isn't getting a little too.
You can get cocky. It's fine. No one watches
Casper, Wyoming Musician Community. That is what it's called.
Go like that page on Facebook, because it's been a really, really big help for show organization and things like that, for sure. I get a lot of info on it. I get a lot of information from that page, actually.
But yeah, I don't think this is sharing too much. He is getting laid off.
Oh.
His whatever the company he's working for is totally just like, you're all gone.
Oh shit.
And so he's trying to find another avenue of work, but for now he's trying to like really lay into the
was he doing
stagger shows.
Was he doing oil stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, man.
I wouldn't know either. There's been so much of that.
We
shit
used to
going
work
on
together for a long time, and then that job kind of fell apart because the owner is just a massive piece of shit.
Okay.
And so ever since then, hello,
hi Pep.
Ever since then, he's kind of been off doing that thing, and he's always bounced around like with oil field work or working with me in some way.
Okay. So are you oil field worker also?
No,
then?
Fuck that.
Yeah, okay.
I used
Good
to.
for you, because fuck that.
I used
work,
to a
man.
long time ago. I fucking hated it, and then some dude tried to fight me one day, and I was like, all right, you know. But then I was like, no, I really need this job. I'm not going to do that.
Ugh.
And it was like, I think it was like 13 below, and he fucking locked the door while I was outside. I was like, cool.
Nice.
And then when I tried to come in, he was trying to fight me in the locker room. And I tried to call the manager. I tried to call, because I didn't want to lose my job. And I was like, hey, I'm stepping out. And those guys left all the fucking time.
Were you on a rig or something? Or
no, we were over here at the downhole division at NOV.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so he's being a dick. And so I called him. I was like, hey, I'm stepping off site, man. Like, I'm not going to get in a fight. You know,
yeah.
I don't want to lose my
job.
job.
Dude keeps trying to provoke me.
Call me. You know, and they had plenty of people.
Sure.
You know, and then I don't know. I don't know if they just wanted to cut costs or whatever, but they called me back and they're like, well, yeah, we're just gonna have to let you go. It's a whole situation. I was like, cool.
Yeah,
whatever.
great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so I just whatever.
It is what it is, man.
But
But yeah, that oil field worker stuff, dude. I have seen and heard some fucking horror stories from the oil field. My stepdad's actually worked in the oil field for like 30 years or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And for the longest time, he wanted me to teach him how to play. That Martin sitting right there on the wall is actually his guitar. He bought it because he wanted to learn how to play, and because his hands got so fucked up from working in the oil field, he can't do it.
Yeah,
like his fingers won't
fuck
move
that
properly.
shit, dude. I hated that. I hated that job
And
so fucking
that's
much.
the saddest shit, dude. Like, it's so sad that. And what do you have to show for something like that? You worked for 30 years, and you might have some money in savings or something like that, but that's really it. Other than that, you just get the shit kicked out of you for 30 years, dude.
I think it was my roommate at the time. I was telling him, I was like, yeah, my checks are fucking awesome, but I'm not here to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's just
I'm
it.
working 16 hours a day.
Fuck that. In negative 13 degree weather, dude.
Yeah, I was outside loading pipes on fucking, like just dollies or fucking forklifts and what it was a nightmare.
Yuck, yeah, dude.
So
I've definitely and you see it all the time, like on the news and stuff, of these guys that go out and they have to work, like you said, 16 hours a day.
Oh, it's horrible.
Temperature never hit above like 5 degrees, and
well, and then if you go up to, I can't remember the name of the place, but it was super notorious for like, oh, we'll pay you $55 an hour or whatever. And they don't even like load the Walmart up there. They just drop the pallets on the floor, and it's fucking, it's just like, everyone jumps on it. And like Halliburton and all these guys, they basically buy out the hotels for a year.
Yeah.
And they put their guys in there, and then the streets are just lined with people like sleeping in cars and shit, because it's so much money. But there's, you're working constantly, and like you're living out of your car.
Yeah. Well,
and then, not to interrupt. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
We had a buddy up there and they share those trailers, and they like swap
those
out,
little double wides,
and he got some shit where like his hair was falling out and like all these other and like it's not growing back.
Oh fuck! Are you sure that's not just old age? Because I'm getting that, dude.
No, man, he's fucking not. Yeah, my hair, dude, my shit went at like 19.
I'm getting there, man. I'm fighting the good fight, but
dude, just let it go. I had the same conversation with Jeff Knock from System Restore.
Yeah,
he would always, and I'm not trying to knock him, but he always had
pun.
he always had like the comb over kind of thing on it, and you can tell like I did the same thing, man. Like I just didn't want to let it go, and then I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. I just did it, and I talked to him. I was like, let it go. And he finally just did. It's dude, you get used to it quicker. You get in the process of
not having to worry about it.
Yeah, that's you got to let it go.
I'm thinking next summer is probably going to be the year for me, because it's just thinning out in one spot, just the bangs, it always does. It just goes from the top. And I've shaved my head a few times, not like bald like yours, but I've like buzzed it a few times.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the way I look with a buzzed head, I can grow a beard, so like
you'll get used to it.
I figure as long as I can grow a beard, I'm okay without any hair on my head.
Yeah.
If I couldn't grow a beard and I couldn't grow hair on my head, I'd be a little fucked, I think. But
I did that too, where I had 1 year where Beastwood went on tour, and I grew out my hair and my beard for a year. And then we ended the tour right before Halloween, and I ended up shaving the beard down for the costume, and I pulled my hair back into a ponytail, and that was the last. Like literally the next day, I went home and fucking got rid of it. Yeah.
Did you straight blade it? Like just.
Yeah, I do that now, but I used to buzz it a little bit, and then that just gets irritating. But the blades, it's way better.
Yeah. Okay.
So just do it. Just go full blown with it, man. It's so much easier. It's because doing the buzzer and shit. And like, because then you start to see like the pattern, and
you
like,
start to see the crow's feet, and all that, or what is it, the widow's peak coming in,
yeah. And so I just shave it down to skin.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I'm fighting that good fight, because
do it, man.
I see memories come up on Facebook and shit, and I'm like, God damn,
I looked glorious.
I had such a good head of hair. And then I see other memories come up, and it's like, oh, that might be why it's falling out. It was red, and then it was black, and then it was blue, and then it was blonde, and then it was black again. I'm like, yeah, it probably has a little bit to do with
Tanner
it.
was the same way. Tanner, he always had hair, and then he started thinning out in the sand. We took these hilarious Christmas photos, and he purposely like kind of, when we like shitty family photos, and he purposely turned his head down to where you could see like the line, like it was horrible.
See that receding hairline?
Funny. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
So funny.
So it's you and Blake and Jake. Jake is the singer, right?
Yeah.
Bearded dude. See, I don't know him that well either, but I do know.
He's pretty notorious around town.
And Tanner
Burback.
Okay, I was gonna say Burback.
Yeah,
okay.
He's from Douglas. So
yeah, I know him through Jason Ford. I think. Weren't they in a band together at one point?
Yeah, and I don't remember the name.
I think it was More City. A long time ago, back when I was
throw it out, man. Might as well be it. Yeah.
Back when I was in my like emo screamo band called Cherryvale.
I remember the band. Yeah.
Yeah, we played a couple shows with them down in Douglas at the Xbox Cafe. Yeah, there's a shout out, man. There's a name.
Tanner. He's from Douglas, and I found him on Facebook randomly because we just couldn't find a bass player when we started.
It's tough, dude. Bass players are hard to come by.
Dude, I was just going through friends and I was like looking for people like holding instruments.
Yeah.
And I was just sending messages to like people I didn't know. And I was
you want
like,
to play some music?
I was like, hey, you know this person. I'm just curious if you know, like, do you know anybody? And I found Tanner and he was holding that pink bass he used to have.
Yep.
And I sent him a message and he was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll come up.
Dude, fuck
and we're like so different from anything that he listens to. You know,
yeah, he's like a punk kid, isn't he? Kind of, or was?
No. Well, I mean, he played in bands like that, but he's very into like Deftones and why am I forgetting the name? The Incubus.
Oh,
Incubus.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's into stuff like that.
Kind of like alternate.
He likes He Is Legend a lot.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah. Jason Ford. That's like Jason Ford's favorite.
Oh, trust me,
band,
I know. I'd listened to them a long time ago, and I had him on a podcast that I was doing.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, dude, that they got a new record coming out. You got to check it out. And I'm like, you've been telling me for so long, and I did. And that new record, man.
I heard it.
That might be my favorite record.
The day that it came out, I picked him up in my car, and he was like, "Dude, can I bring the CD?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, you can bring the CD." So he brings it out to the car, and we jammed that shit like loud in my car.
Dude, it's so
like
good.
3 times through,
it's
man.
It's so good.
And I think I think Jason's got a He Is Legend tattoo now. I think he actually went and got a tattoo.
Oh, yeah?
They're like, what is it? Like the skull with the horns coming out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's actually got that tattoo. I don't. I'm not really not. It's not to say that I don't like metal. I just am not. It's not my cup of tea. But I appreciate, like, metal musicians are some of the craziest motherfuckers ever. Like,
well, you got that going for them where they're super rowdy, but they're also the nicest dudes.
And that's another thing. Like, yeah, it's I guess if you're from the outside perspective, I like if you didn't know anything about metal musicians and you went and saw like a Mastodon show or something like that, you'd be like, holy fuck, dude, these guys are like dangerous. Like these guys are fucking dangerous people.
Face tattoos.
But then you go and meet them after the show and they're like, thank you so much for coming. Oh my god, you guys are so cool. You want to get like they'll ask you to take a picture, right?
Oh yeah.
So like. Yeah, that's
how it goes. Yeah,
that's definitely been my experience with any like, and especially in Casper, like some of the metal dudes in Casper are like some of the greatest people ever.
Oh yeah, well, and that's why, kind of like with what you're doing, there's been a handful of other people that have always wanted to showcase that because Casper's always been so unique with like music and especially with good music coming out.
Definitely.
And like metal bands and stuff like that. We had Internal Hate. I don't know if you know who that
I know
was.
the name. I don't know.
That was like the metal band for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know the name. I think they were around when Cherryville was around. Weren't they?
Blake was the second singer for that band.
Okay, that's probably how I know him then.
Yeah, so Blake, he was in Internal Hate. God, what else was there? There's been a ton of hardcore bands that popped up courtesy of fucking Jake Brunell.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Shout out Jake. That kid's a fucking monster too.
That motherfucker. I've asked him so many times to start a hardcore band with me.
Really?
And dude, I get it. I mean, I get where he's coming from because he wants to play. More
melodic kind of shit, yeah.
And I trust me, I get that.
He's great at it too.
Dude, but and the dude he knows he's good.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
But yeah, he's so nasty.
He's really good, man.
To that. And I've asked him so many times, but it's one of those things where either we can't find like a drummer to do it, or we can't find the time to get together with this. And
yeah, sure,
it's whatever.
That's what, in my experience, especially lately, it's been finding. It's not necessarily been a hard. Like the issue doesn't come with finding musicians anymore because there's a lot of them out there, but it comes with finding time to get together and make the material come to life.
Yeah, and that's kind of been my issue lately is being able to like get out and like do anything.
Yeah,
like the show that we were at like a couple weeks ago. That was the first time I'd been out to a show in fucking months.
That was, like I said, I think that was the first time outside of us playing a show at a venue, or you playing a show that I was at, that I had ever actually gotten to talk to you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and people get pissed too, and that's one of the things about Casper where it's like everyone wants to be super cool, but everyone wants to be super judgy and like a dick as well.
Which is weird. Yeah. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this thing. Like, honestly, part of the reason why is because I feel like, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like there's a lot of that weird contentiousness around Casper.
It's fucking annoying.
It
like,
is.
Honestly,
it can get really fucking annoying. Definitely.
A lot of people, I don't know who in your fan base that normally watches this knows who I am.
He called it a fan base.
There you go. All 7.
Yeah, it's no shit.
Your mom, your cousins.
Yep.
No, but whoever does, I don't know if it's still there, but I had a reputation around town for a long time of like being a fucking asshole. And I'm like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if you think I'm an asshole or not, but this is, I've been nice to you, never had an issue whatsoever. And I'll always hear that, like, but it's because, like, number one, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'll give you exactly what I think about it. And a lot of people can't take that because a lot of people are very, like, closed off in terms of, of what they're going to hear or what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm never trying to be mean about it. And but I won't say that I've never been like a fucking straight up dick to somebody before.
Oh yeah, we all
have.
But
at the same time, you know, apparently I'm the asshole, but it's all these other people that are out there talking about, like, me or my band or someone in my band. And it's like, we haven't said anything about you.
I think a lot of that comes from, like, weird expectations that people have. Like,
dude, I don't know, man.
And like you were saying, you know, you had this reputation for being a dick for a long time. I think I still, and I don't know why, I don't know where it came from, but I think people still have this idea of me that I'm like some pretentious asshole, and like I'm not pretentious.
And I had never heard that about you. Like I said, I'd seen you around, and I was like, oh, he plays in that band, whatever.
I just play in a lot of bands, and the reason why I play in a lot of bands is because I like to play music.
Well, and when you hear something bad, it's always someone else who it's like, and it's always the person that's saying something too.
It's usually
it's always the fucking same group.
Yep, it's usually stems from the same area.
Yeah, and like I said, I've spoken out against it before, but like I was hearing people, and this is in 2013. Which was
good time for the scene, dude. It was a good time for the scene.
Well, Beastwood we were still going like pretty heavy, and we had just put out our last full length called Alabama Space Witch.
I know the name,
and you can get it on Bandcamp, iTunes, Spotify, whatever, all over the place. It's a fucking great record.
Hell yeah,
and it's a lot of music.
Who did that? Who recorded that?
Dave Otero at Flatline Audio.
Shit.
And
so I bet it sounds fucking great.
Oh, it sounds incredible. And
Shout out Dave Otero if you ever come across this.
I'll send it to him.
If you ever want to record my band, like, what's up?
Fuck, all you gotta do is come up with the cash.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He did the Dead Pass record too. I don't know if you ever heard that.
That's how I know who Dave Otero is, through Colton. So
and he's dude, that guy, he's a fucking wizard.
He's like genius,
dude. And he had just done I don't know if you know who Cattle Decapitation is.
Yeah,
they were like a death grind band a long time ago.
I know them.
And he, you know, he's the he's the reason that if you're familiar with the band, he's the reason that they went from this like kind of brutal death, not a lot of technical aspect to them. They were still crazy, but he's the reason that they totally changed their sound and became these fucking monsters.
Dave Otero?
They were always popular, but dude, I think it's Monolith of Humanity or something like that. That record, they recorded that like right before we got there to record ours. And he was just like, he was mixing that when I was there. And that record was fucking incredible.
Nice.
And now they don't work with anybody else. And they just put out a new record on last Friday.
Ooh.
And that record's fucking,
is it just beastie?
So fucking good.
So does he work in his own studio down there? Like, he's out of Colorado, right?
Yeah, he's in Aurora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has like a little apartment in the back, so like you can stay there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And you know, he has like, if the whole band's there, the whole band's there. But we went down like just. I went down for a week. Blake and Tanner went down for a week. Jake went down for a week.
And tracked it separately.
I went back and produced everything with him and helped, you know, figure everything out.
Yeah. That's cool. So he does production work also. Then
he does. And dude, he's such, and it's hard to get someone who can do that. He records, he mixes, he masters.
Yeah.
Everything's in house. He's a producer. So we also on our YouTube, Beastwood Band.
Plug.
Yeah, there's a video on there. It's like 16 minutes long, but it's all of us over the course of a month and a half of recording this record, and you'll see there's actually a segment in there where we're talking about how he helps you out. Like he's like, well, try this, or like he took the bass from Tanner and like wrote this fucking part for him. It was like, try it like that, you know. And Tanner's like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing. Like he came behind the drum, and dude.
That's what a good producer will do.
He's a fucking and he can play everything, but he is a fucking incredible drummer.
Really?
Dude,
ooh.
He's one of the nastiest like death metal drummers I've ever heard.
I do like good drummers.
He played with Dead Speak for a while, which was a big metal band out of Cheyenne.
Okay.
And they were on Relapse Records.
Wow.
Or no, they had a distribution deal. They weren't officially.
Okay, I was like, wow, that's a big label.
And then he played drums in this band called Dethroned, and you can look them up on YouTube, name. And it's just fucking you know, just like just the fastest drums. Yeah,
nice.
He's so insane. That dude.
Some fucking As Blood Runs Black stuff, huh?
And dude, way faster.
Really?
Way faster.
Ooh.
Yeah, that shit is nothing compared to it's crazy. But
that's
Dave recorded us, and it's all in house.
That's
So,
super cool, man. And
but,
that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Like, I'm in the process of doing it right now, but I want to get it set up to where I've got a place where bands can come in, and like this back room in particular, you know, like you guys can set up shop back here. You can hang out back here. There's a room to sleep in over on the other side of the house. And then if I'm not here, you know, the band can stay here and they can track their guitars.
yeah, and I had heard that you were trying to do something like that too.
Yeah.
And at the time I didn't know, because like I think someone was asking for recommendations. I was like, well, talk to Colton, you know, but I guess he's not doing it now. So he did our last record.
Okay.
So
okay.
well, we have the other one coming out in a couple weeks, and so he did both of them.
Oh, I was gonna say, so he did both of those ones. Okay.
Yeah, we recorded all at the same time.
He moved down to Fort Collins. Right?
That's what I heard. I heard he was moving.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I was gonna talk to him about that when I had him and Jordan on right before their Halloween show.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
dude, that was such a fun podcast, man. Those guys are, so talented, dude. Colton is another dude that like I've taken so much inspiration from that kid.
Well, he's and I don't mean this in a mean way at all, but he is so on Dave Otero's nuts that, you know, he's becoming the same way.
Good.
And again, I'm not saying that in a bad way, like he's like ripping him off or anything. He's attached to him in a way that is super positive, and he's taken all the best things he can from it and making his own shit.
Yeah, sure.
But he's learning from literally in my opinion, the best guy in the business.
And that's when it comes to music production, I never take offense to, you know, to sounding like one of the guys that I liked to listen to his music. You know, like the guys that are mixing the albums that I like. Well, of course I want my music to sound like that. Like that's the shit that inspired me to get started doing this anyway.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So if I can make my stuff sound like that, but also have my own little spin on it, then mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, and even with him, you know, I have no problem taking you know, anything from someone else and like kind of applying it to what I'm doing. But that's also been the problem too with music is Phil Anselmo. I don't know if who that is. He's the singer for Pantera.
Okay.
Sings for a couple other bands, but he had an interview where he said, he's like, you know, back in the day, we took our favorite 15 bands and we jammed that into one, and that's how all these new bands came out, sounding new and crazy and originals, because, you know, these guys shaped this and we took all these elements. Now everybody's taken everything from the two bands they like, and that's why everything's so repetitive these days.
Sure.
And that's true, you know, and it's like, you know, on our record, I guess we can kind of be put in that genre, but, you know, with my drums, I was like Dave Grohl, Queens of the Stone Age. Like that's the drum set I want it to sound like. I want the snare dry as shit.
Yeah.
You know, and of course Blake has his, well, I want it kind of muddy like this, you know, so we pull in a bunch of different shit from a bunch of different things.
And that's the beauty of being in the studio and having a producer and things like that, is you can take, that's the place where all that shit comes together, because the producer can do that stuff for you. You know, he's like, oh, okay, well.
So then they know how to mic it correctly. They know what to do. And they're okay, we'll put this on it. We won't put this on it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we can try this amp, you know.
Fuck. Did you see the wall of amps and cabs in Colton's studio when we brought all that shit in there? Did you see the pictures when he was working up at the church up here?
Oh, we recorded in the church, but he didn't have a whole thing in there.
They did the photo shoot up there, and I helped him out with that. And
that's right. I remember that now. Yep.
Yeah. And dude, that
was after we were done though.
That back room was so fucking crazy, dude. I couldn't believe the amount of gear that was in there. I was
that church is fucking great, man.
Oh, beautiful.
It sucks that they're just not into it.
Yeah, man. That's. I won't get too into it, but I have a real big beef with people that fucking take a beautiful thing and destroy it and turn it into something.
Well, it's
really
the same
stupid.
thing like we were talking about with people talking shit, you know. And that's where we were. You know, being a dick and whatnot. But but it's the same thing. Yeah. Of either people are going to trash talk somebody, or they're going to try to do something, and then either their ego gets in the way or whatever, or they are against it. Like, we weren't allowed to record there in the church for a long time. This before Colton was involved, because they had heard that we cussed, which we rarely ever did in the first place. And this record has like one or two, so we weren't allowed to cuss, and I wouldn't have been allowed in there, period. And because of any sort of satanic imagery or anything like that I have, and I was like, "Fuck off!"
Seriously?
You know, like
we're not here to support the church. We're here to fucking use the studio.
I'm giving you money,
and like we're paying you. Yeah.
And they were super but it's, you know, it's the same thing, but it's not. And but yeah, like you said, it's the same thing with people like either talking shit or coming in and like fucking something up and taking it away.
Right.
You know, because they're both kind of doing it in the same way.
It was such a good thing too. Like, I had even been talking to Colton about like helping him like get on as like an assistant and like help him start doing his thing. Mm-hmm. And right as we were getting into talks about that, he sent me a message one day and was like, "Yeah, the studio's done. We're getting rid of all the gear. The guy's selling off all the gear. He's going to turn it into fucking office space or some shit, and I was like, are you like those beautiful rooms up there?
Yeah.
If you guys never if all the musicians or anybody else out there never got a chance to go up and see the studio up at the old Highland Park church.
It was Highland Park, the one that's behind
I think they call it Restoration
Office Max
Church.
or Kinko's or whatever. Kinko's.
Yeah. Behind Kinko's. Yep, and Dairy Queen over there.
Yeah.
Man, I would argue to say those are probably, I haven't been to the new stuff up at the college. I've heard they've got some great stuff up there, but I would argue to say that outside of an educational facility, that was probably the best room in Casper.
It was great.
I mean,
it was one of the nicer ones I'd ever been in, period.
Seriously.
They had a shitload of money, and they're just like, oh, we're done.
We're done. We've got,
and they had that for so long, and they did nothing with it.
$30,000 worth of RedNet equipment for the Scarlet stuff, and like, we're just
dude, and they didn't use it forever. And then finally Colton got in there and started, banging out projects.
And think of all the work he did up there. Colton went up there and basically rewired their entire mainframe.
Oh yeah, and then they're like, thanks, we're gonna tear it down now.
Thanks, we're gonna punch it all out now.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man, are you serious?
No, and that's again back to, I'm not trying to shit on Casper, but at the same time, man, like there's no one that will ever try to follow through, and unfortunately that's part of the reason why Beastwood doesn't play Casper that often. We go down because we have a ton of buddies in Denver and just kind of in surrounding areas, so we just go down there, and we have a fucking blast.
And how much more accepted are you down there? Like it's insane, massively. Right?
Well, Blake and I, we have another band called Drifter.
That's the one. I was going to ask you about multiple bands because I thought I remembered you guys being in another one.
It's a doom band, and we've been doing that band since 2010.
Okay.
And we've recorded an EP, and we recorded a full-length record that we never put out. And because Beastwood took off around the same time, so we just kind of shelved that, just never did anything with it.
Yeah.
And we played around Casper for a long time, and no one... I'm not saying Casper's like super like closed off or anything, but no one here that I know of, well, now it's kind of, but even then, no one listened to doom or anything. And doom's like real big, heavy, just slow and droney, and everyone fucking hated it. And so no one gave a shit
because it's different.
Yeah, and Casper, it's like, well, fuck it, come out and hang out.
If it's not hillbilly or bluegrass, Casper's kind of like,
and metal has just straight up has always just had like its good community.
Yeah,
but even then, like Drifter, man, it would only be like a couple people that got it.
I think I saw you guys. I think I've seen you guys at least once in that band.
Yeah,
I'm sure I have.
Man, we played in like 2015, 14, something like that.
Was that the last time you guys played?
Yeah.
Okay.
We played in Justin Stevens' house. I don't know if you know who Justin Stevens is.
Oh my God, dude. I played shows in Justin Stevens' house.
Okay,
shout out Justin Stevens, the house down on Kit Carson, man.
Yeah.
Up there, by Galloway's kind of.
Area. Is it? Or yeah. That's it.
Down in that area.
And so we played there one time, and actually Nick filled in on bass for us because it's a 2-man doom band.
Yeah.
So we just have like a live player to kind of thicken it out live. So and but that's the last time we played. But we're trying to.
I may have seen you guys at that show actually, because I remember when he was doing house shows there.
That show is probably the most packed that we ever played to, except for one time we played at. Do you remember Gigworks?
Of course,
or Gigsworks or whatever it was called. We were invited to play out there, and no one knew who we were. And Drifter is very anti-religion, anti-establishment. Just it's very to the point.
Very political.
And we speaking of Phil Anselmo, he had a major drug problem back from, it was pretty much the entire career, but from like 96 to like 2002, it was brutal.
Phil did?
Yeah. And it makes me and Blake laugh fucking way hard. But there's this part in I think it's Killing in Korea, if you want to look it up. He stops the song. I think it's the song Floods. And right before the solo hits, which everyone regards that solo as like the best solo from Dimebag Darrell ever, Phil just says, like it stops, just everybody smoke heroin, and then the fucking solo kicks in.
Oh shit!
And Blake and I, we were playing this Gigworks show, and we had this like stop, and we're like, it'd be fucking hilarious if we said that, just as like just a shout out to Phil, and it's gonna make us laugh on stage. Who gives a shit, right? And so Blake says it, and I'm just like, that's fucking hilarious. And we just keep playing, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah.
And I have it on video somewhere. And like literally the next day, there's like a write-up in the paper about it.
Oh,
and
shit.
Someone's like, dude, Drifter's in the fucking paper. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it might have been Blake. I'm not sure. But someone told me that they're like, dude, Drifter's in the paper. And I'm like, what?
Yes, tell me about this review. Oh, I'm so excited.
No, you don't even know.
I'm so excited.
Here's what happened. So, and I don't remember the title, but it was something about the show. But it turns out that the show was a fun, and no one told us anything. I'm not fucking kidding. Nobody told us shit. And it's like, this was a fundraiser for this kids program like the Boys and Girls Club or whatever the fuck it was. And it was like we want to thank this band and this band, but we are absolutely disgusted with the things that Drifter said and played.
Oh my
God. We completely disassociate ourselves with anything, and we do not condone. And I was just like, what the fuck?
You're like, we didn't fucking know, man.
Dude, no one told us shit. But it's straight up like I wish I never even thought about it to get the clipping.
Yeah.
And so it's totally gone.
Oh,
but it was we are completely disgusted with the actions and everything that Drifter said.
And as Drifter reading that, you're going, mission accomplished.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Fucking did
dude,
it, dude.
And I just, because I'd heard it from like 3 different people told me, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then Blake and I talked about it, and we just never thought to go and grab the paper. Yeah, it was some fundraiser for like kids for fucking some club, and I was just like,
and that could be said about, that could be that, that could come back to being said about Casper and kind of the whole like taking a good thing away and things like that, and just the miscommunication. There's so much miscommunication in this town, dude.
Oh, it's horrible.
Especially, I don't know how many bands, or I don't know how many shows my band Records has been booked on, and we get there, and like I talk to the promoter over Facebook and let him know what's going on. We're gonna play this long, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we get there, and we're hauling in gear like cabs and guitars and stuff, and the owner comes up and he's like, I thought you guys were an acoustic band. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, dude.
We are an acoustic band when you request an acoustic band.
Yeah,
but when you say, well,
we'll
band...
leave this shit at home if you want. Yeah.
But when you say, will your band come play? Yeah, my whole band will come play a show. We've run into that, especially when me and Alex were first making the transition into full band. Oh my God, dude. We went through like 6 months of people, like we'd show up with 4 of us and we'd start putting a drum set on stage. And they're like, oh, I didn't know you guys had drums. And I'm like, you asked for the full band.
Yeah.
If you when you ask us to play, if you would have went to our Facebook and read one status, like
they're not going
10
to.
seconds
They're
worth of
never
research
going to.
will tell you everything you need to know about who you're hiring. I'm sure you've struggled with that too, dude.
Oh, it's horrible. Well,
especially being in metal bands, dude. I bet it's even worse.
Yeah, people just they're not, number one, they're not going to read anything.
Yeah.
Number two, it's gotten to the point to where and I guess I can use this to segue into some other shit. But it's gotten to the point to where we do all of our shit ourselves for the most part. And or if we do have to work with somebody, I have to handle it because I have like a laundry list, and I that's probably why more people think I'm a dick, is because I'm like, okay, this is what we do, this is what this is, I have to send a fucking list.
Yeah, there's
so like with you now you know that you have to be like, okay, so there's like 3 fucking versions of the band you can have.
Pretty much.
You can have this, or fucking this.
Yep.
This costs this,
And if you want us to bring this, it's going to cost extra. If you want us to play for this, it's going to cost extra.
Because here's the thing, and I'm trying to, and I can't really say I'm trying to say this nice, but no one gives a shit.
No
one gives a fuck what you're doing, and no one understands what goes into before you play a show or what you're gonna do. They don't know that, like, Blake and I or Blake and Jake or whoever in Blake's basement like bringing this shit up these super steep stairs. And they don't have fucking casters on.
Oh yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare. Like, dude, when you're getting ready to go to a show at fucking 7 o'clock at night. We're getting ready for the show at 2 p.m.
No shit.
Dragging shit upstairs.
We've been doing it all day.
Yeah. And I'm tired. I haven't had anything to drink. I'm getting fucking cramps in my leg. It
my
sucks.
Fucking back hurts all of a sudden because I've just been hauling equipment and
then you get to a
day.
show and there's a fucking mix up, or someone doesn't give a shit, or someone like dude, we just play with Saliva. And which
that was out at the hangar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, how was that? I didn't get to go to that. So I don't mean to interrupt, but
I mean,
was it?
What do you want to know? But
what? Overall, was it pretty dope? Like, did you get to meet the guys and stuff?
Fuck no, they stayed in the back. They don't give a fuck.
Fuck
and
you.
we ran into that a couple times. We ran into that with Puddle of Mud too.
That's another thing. That's another qualm that I have with big bands that come through. It's like, dude, you guys are playing a one-off show, and you got to realize if you're at that stature and you're playing a one-off, and there's a local opening, like that local is probably one of the biggest moments of their lives.
Guess what? We're the reason that everybody was there. We sold
really.
More. Oh,
I heard the singer or someone. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I heard the singer or someone complained about it. Right?
I don't
singer
know.
for Saliva. Or someone in the band was bitching about the venue or something like that, and it's like, motherfucker, then you don't have to come back.
So okay,
so go ahead.
Here's where I'm at. I'm on kind of both sides of the fence there. Number one, and I don't mean to be shitty about this, but the hangar is not set up for shows like that. And it's a fucking tin box.
It's a warehouse, yeah.
And it's straight and
concrete walls.
I'm not being me. It's straight. It's a hangar.
Concrete floors and brick walls.
It's a hangar,
and then windows in the fucking ceiling. It's
but to their credit, they are trying. They're putting up paneling.
They're putting baffles in.
Yeah, they're trying to get it figured out. They're trying to figure it out because if that's what they're going to do, they need to figure it out.
You have to.
And so at least they're trying
I'm just gonna say, in
You
a
know?
space that big, dude, if you want to baffle a space that big, it's gonna cost you thousands.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing is like, are
Thousands.
they going to put that money into it? You
It's
know,
a lot.
and like fucking Brent from System Restore, who does a shitload of sound here in town, and the second we posted that we were playing the hangar, he's like, "Who's doing sound?" I was like, "They're bringing their own dudes from Colorado," and he's like, and he just wrote, "That's a fucking hard room to."
Yeah, it's a hard room to sound, dude. It's a really hard room to sound.
But so on the both sides of the fence thing, the hangar is good because they're trying. So I'll give them that. It's bad because it's a fucking tin box, and it's, dude, like Blake forgot his earplugs. He's like, I feel like I'm fucking underwater.
Oh, because you can hear
it just, dude,
the
it bounces
reverb.
everywhere.
Oh,
and the guys from Colorado, the booking agency who are bringing all these shows up to the hangar, which I know Rick, he's a nice dude, and the two people that come up to kind of like man the shows here, the fucking people, they were in the back, like kind of by where like all the drinks and shit were. And someone was sound checking up on the stage, and the second it stops, all you just hear her from the back, "Sounds real tinny." And I was just like, there it is.
That's someone's got to say it, right?
Yeah. So it was okay. Saliva had done, and I get the big band thing where like, you know, you're probably playing Casper because they paid
you,
you know, and you don't give a fuck about it.
You might have been on your way home or something like that, and it's like, well, we can make
we can pick up an extra $5,000. Who gives a fuck?
X amount of money at this venue.
And so I mean, I get that aspect of it where either you didn't intend to play it, or
I get that,
or it's like a little stop that you're not really going to give a fuck about because you know no one's going to be there, but you're going to get paid the same, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
So I get that from them. It's a shitty attitude to have.
It kind of is,
but I get it. And yeah, they didn't come out of their green room back there. They locked the door to the green room, so none of the other bands could go back there.
Whoa.
But other than that, it was fine. They had set up. They had set up early, and they took the whole stage, and like it was no shit. Like where I'm sitting right now, like let's say this is my throne and my snares right here, as you know. I had to like box everything in because literally no shit, the drop off of the stage is right there. So we had to play in a line because they put so much shit out, and like we straight up played in a line.
They brought basically like their entire back.
Oh yeah, they had lights and fucking Jesus. Which is fine.
That's fine.
But
you're a giant band. I get
and that
it,
stage is so fucking.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that because I've seen the room several times, but I've never been in it.
And then your drums, like your hi hat is like it's up here when it should be here, but then it fucking kind of leans this, you know,
floats and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's whatever. I mean, like that's not the hangar's fault. But other than that,
that's
like,
the writer. That's the writer's fault.
Yeah,
What it says on their writer.
Yeah,
like our shit is, it has to be set up. Like,
but you know, a lot of big bands that come through Casper are going to be like that, and like Puddle of Mud was like that.
Were they?
You know, this is when what's his name, like Wes or something.
With their singer?
The singer, yeah. And that dude's had a fucking drinking problem and probably drugs too forever. And when we played, like that show was great for us. Like we sold so much goddamn merch at that show, and at the fucking Saliva show too. We do great on those shows.
Where was Puddle of Mud at? I remember the show.
Industrial building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you. We can talk about that too because I've played with some big names out there.
Yeah. So. And when we were done, there was like two other bands or something, and then Puddle of Mud was going to play. And apparently at some point, Wes or whatever the fuck his name is had an issue, and he didn't want anybody around. So everyone out of the backstage, get the fuck out. And so we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. And we just left. Well, I have big like tour cases for my drums, and because at this time we had a van and a trailer.
Road
and all
cases,
this shit.
man.
Yeah.
That's something I've been meaning to get for my drums.
Oh, dude, they're
fucking.
They're so, it's so nice.
They're beautiful, but they're so fucking expensive. It's like buying another drum set.
I got a killer deal on mine, but
Nice.
you don't want to go the way I did to get them. It was a fucking nightmare. But yeah, so all my shit's back there. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then when Puddle of Mud's done and we're getting ready to leave, I can't go backstage. And I'm like, why can't I fuck? And all the security's like, can't go back there. I'm like, well, here's, you know.
I played with the band tonight. Like,
they're like, doesn't matter. They don't want anybody back there. I'm like, no, but my shit's back there.
I need to get my shit.
Yeah, well, he went and checked with somebody. He's like, can't get it. And I was like, well, I will get it.
Listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you're in my town.
I knew the promoter, I knew the sound guy,
Okay.
you know, I knew everybody, so I just went back there. I was like, hey, so there's the fucking baby back here.
Assholes telling me I can't fucking come back here.
I can't grab my gear.
Yeah.
So I went back there with the guy who booked the show,
yeah.
And he just told the security guy to move, and I just went. It was literally like they had a curtain. And then there was the door for us to get out where our van was, and it was right on the other side of the curtain.
Right there, yeah.
I could have literally just reached over and fucking grabbed the handle and just rolled it through.
Fuck,
and he wouldn't let me do it.
What? Why?
It was their security team.
Like, why? But But why?
I don't know.
I just don't get that.
Rockstar attitude.
It's that weird mentality, man.
Which again comes back to half of Casper has that.
And, and I've had a beef with that for a long time. Like if you're in a band in Casper and you're a no name like the rest of us, like don't get on stage and think you're some like big deal, because you're not. I'm not, and he's not, and none of us are. So
talking about someone thinking that I was a dick, like we played I don't know if I should name the band. I'm not gonna name the band.
That's fair.
We were playing with this band that they were doing a CD release show, and they were playing at the Attic. And we,
God, he's talking about records. Oh shit! No,
these pieces of shit
punk kids.
Yeah, little bastard, thinning hair. Just get real shitty with it. But no, fucking these guys. They had this CD release show, and they wanted to like set up and they were gonna sound check and run through everything. And I was like, it's fucking 6:30. This show starts at 7:30. Like, why are you setting up? Like,
get your shit off stage.
And I wasn't being a dick at all. Like, I wasn't saying it the way I'm saying it now, I'm
trying to like convey it. Like,
I was like, hey, I was like, what are you guys doing? They're like, well, we're gonna sound check, and I was like, why?
You should have been here at 3 to do that.
Yeah, and I was like, if you wanted to do that, that takes time. And I was like, and we're the first band up, and we don't
have anything set up yet.
Like we've got to do all this stuff, and we're on time for when the show will start.
Right.
And they're just like, well, no, we're gonna do this, blah blah. And I just told them, and I was like, look, this isn't fucking Denver. I was like, you don't get a setup as the headliner and then sound check and then tear all your shit down, because they wanted to do like half their set. They wanted to practice like they do. You'll go to a venue outside of Denver and you'll hear the band fucking ripping through half the set.
Absolutely.
And that's what they wanted to do. And I was like, there's no time.
This isn't Denver, like you said.
I told them, I was like, look, this isn't Denver. I'm not trying to be a dick. You guys got to get your shit off the stage.
Yeah.
And then they thought that I did that on purpose because all of our friends had shown up and then they left, which I don't condone. I know some people have to split. Fine, whatever.
That's fine.
But literally everybody left.
Don't just go and see the band that you want to see. Fucking stay.
If you can. If you can.
We all understand we got shit going on, but if you are going to split after the band, like, let the other guys know at least. Like, hey, man, sorry I can't catch your set. I got to go do this and this,
Well, and at worst case scenario, like, and I've done this a couple times, like, I love all the guys in System Restore. But I've never seen a full set. Well, I take that back. I've seen one full set out of like the fucking 10 shows I've seen them on.
Yeah.
But it's always like, fuck, I gotta go because I have a kid, and
they're pretty spanky, man.
Yeah,
I like System Restore. They're
great. But almost every time I've seen them, it's been me like, I'll catch 2 songs and then I gotta fucking go.
And see, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to the headliner. If the headliner's a local, I've done it, like you said, I've done it several times where it's like, well, it's getting late or whatever, and I do have to get home, but I'm not going to just like bail out because I know the locals and they're waiting, and I know how hard it is sometimes when you're headlining one of those shows. I actually talked about it with Colton and Jordan. Sometimes it turns into deadlining.
Yeah,
you get up there.
There's no one there,
and you're psyched because like finally we get to take the stage.
Well, fucking we've had that too.
There's 10 fucking people there, and it's like
we've done that where the other band's playing, all their fucking friends left, and we're like, cool, there's 6 people here.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Doesn't matter.
We should have had you guys headline so your friends would have stayed.
And that's what we do now. Is
I don't have a problem with that either. Like, if I know there's someone super popular that's going to be playing, even if they haven't been around as long or whatever, it doesn't matter. What's your draw? Oh, you guys have a huge draw. You're playing last.
Yeah,
because then everyone's going to stay.
Everyone can stay.
Everyone will stay.
Yeah,
I do that a lot of times with if I book a touring band that comes through. I'm like, we're not going to put you guys on last. You're not going to headline, just so you're aware. You're probably going to play, if it's a 3-band bill, you're playing second.
Yeah,
because that's when everyone's going to be
there.
I
used to book shows all the time, and that's what I would do.
Yeah,
and I'd put the touring band in the middle.
Yep, always put them in the middle, because you can't let them headline, because the second the locals play, the crowd's gone.
Yeah, all their buddies are going to leave.
And that's not just Casper. That happens everywhere. You know, that happens.
Well, and that was happening a lot for like, do you remember Dead Ashore?
Of course.
They were doing that where
fucking
like
Alan Cassidy. What up, dude?
Yeah,
hope the Black Dahlia murder's going well. You fucking awesome son of a bitch.
Dead Ashore. They were doing that where they would play under some headliner that came, and then everyone would fucking leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you don't even know who the fuck is playing after these guys. So when I would book them, I would book Dead Ashore last.
Of course.
And they would come up to me. Well, and it wasn't like anything like negative, but they were like, oh man, fucking, like, why are we playing over these guys? Like, these guys are so much better.
They're touring. We should.
I'm like, that's not how this works at all.
Nope. They're going to be much happier when everyone's still here when they're playing, and then everyone's going to stay to see you guys because you're the heroes. Like, you're the local heroes, man. So you guys need to keep the crowd here.
Yeah, and see, we were talking about that too because I was like, oh, see, I used to book shows. And I used like Zen was my sound guy.
Zen Peterson, we miss you. We miss you, buddy.
And actually, Dead Ashore is ruled out because of a band that I was in. And do you know who Shane Veazey is?
Of course I know Shane Veazey.
So Shane, he was in the original Dead Ashore
Okay.
with God, what was his name? Was it Kyle? That was the singer, and I think it was Kyle. And so Dead Ashore was a band that was called Travesty.
Okay.
And Travesty was Kyle.
Man, I think I know that name from
Kyle,
way back.
yeah,
when.
it was Kyle, Jordan on bass, Shane on
Jordan Venjon.
Yeah.
Jordan Venjon. What up, buddy? Hope Souls is going well.
And then Shane on guitar, and I was playing drums.
Yeah.
And then that band dissolved, and they took like half of the songs that we had and sort of reformed, which it wasn't like, oh, fuck you, but you know, I was like, cool. And they sort of reformed and turned into Dead Ashore. And then that kind of became their thing. And
I think Alex Clark played in Dead Ashore for a little while, didn't he? I think he
don't
played
know.
guitar. My guitar player in records, Alex. I think he played guitar in Dead Ashore for a brief period also.
I know they went through a couple.
Yeah.
They had Tony Mack was
Tony fucking Mack.
yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many good names dropping right now. This is awesome.
So Tony played guitar for him for I think the entire career of the band.
Okay.
And then once Shane left, I don't know how long the time period was before someone else joined, but their last guitarist I'm not a fan of.
Really?
And
Okay.
because he's one of those guys who
His way or the highway kind of thing.
yeah, and I'm not. It's hard to say I'm not like a confrontational person, but if you have a problem with me, and I'm a tough guy. I'm not trying to do that.
I just
But,
want to
like,
talk about it. Like, what's your
Yeah,
problem?
if you have a problem, I'm going to ask you, and if you want to solve it, let's solve it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
what are you going to do? Punch me in the face? Okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, whatever. We can handle it however you want. And he's kind of like
the
that
bigger
where-
man. The bigger man swings last. Buddy.
Yeah. So he, you know, we had this issue where I had picked up bass to help him out with a band that he was in, and he all of a sudden, and it was like MySpace.
Oh
back in
yeah.
the day.
Oh, dude,
So,
MySpace
like,
music, man.
So when they changed, like one day I just logged onto MySpace, and like I never considered myself an official member of the band, but I had helped them tour.
They changed the lineup or something.
Well, and then all of a sudden, like it was like because the band was called Beautiful Vesper, which is a take on a James Bond novel.
Okay.
And it said Beautiful Vesper, and then in parentheses, looking for a bass player. And I
Oh,
was like,
shit.
Yeah, like didn't even. I was like, but I didn't take it personally. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then and speaking of Alan comes up in this. He just started talking shit. Like he was like writing like blog posts about me on the fucking band page.
Alan did?
No.
I was
The,
like-
the guitar player.
I was like, that does not seem like him. But
No,
okay,
no.
I got
Alan's
you.
great.
He's the greatest kid ever.
But yeah, and he was like talking all this shit, like stuff that I never did, and just being an asshole, like just trying to fucking like for what, like, dude, you're from Gillette, like why are you trying to bury me and Casper? Like what did I ever do to you? And I'd never done anything to him, like,
Right.
like, and I'm not trying to make me be the good guy, but I'd legitimately never had a problem with him, like,
Right.
You know. His mom and I, we got along well. Like I talked to her because she was fucking awesome.
Sure.
And his little brother and I are still friends. And his sister was always super nice to me. Like I had never had a bad interaction with this dude ever.
Huh.
And all of a sudden he was just fuck this
Had a
dude.
problem with
fuck,
you,
yeah.
huh?
He's like, fuck him, fuck this, fuck that. And I was just like, and Alan fucking hit him up and was like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, dude.
And Alan was the one that like showed me half of it. And he was like, and I was like, I don't know, man. Dude's
Weird.
a dick, I guess.
Weird, man.
And but yeah, it's just another guy that just started shit. And
I've had experience. I won't name drop either, but I've had experience recording a band, and it was the first time I'd ever come across this because I didn't have a lot of experience and was taken on this band and was like, you know, we're gonna see what happens.
yeah.
Was trying to fill the role of producer. So they were showing me the song, and the guitar player was working on this one part, and we were trying to get it recorded, and I was like, well, what if the guitar part, instead of going up here, it goes down first and then comes back up?
Yeah.
You know? And like it sounded good the way I was trying to help them
Yeah.
write it, and it made it sound a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
And essentially, he was like, it came down to it, and I tried like 3 different variations of doing this thing, and every time it just came down to, no, that's not the way I wrote it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that's not the way you wrote it, asshole.
Dude, if you-
I'm
yeah.
trying to help you write
Look,
it better.
you piece of shit.
Like I didn't say that to him, but it's like I just bit the bullet. I was like, all right, man, let's lay it down. Like
Yeah.
do it your way. Let's lay it down.
and that's
It's your record. I don't.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, and it's like, you know, and to go back, that guy was the same way, you know, where he was like, it was what he wrote and that's it. And
That's
it's
not
like,
the way I wrote it. And it's like, I know that.
dude, like when Blake and I write songs, and because it's a collaborative effort, like
Yeah.
he will come in with a riff or I'll have a riff, and I'm like, and I do that like. I wish I had the time or like the avenue to do a producer role, because dude, ideas for like, you know, not really the same thing, but like videos or fucking sketches or songs, or like I know how to write, I know how to put stuff together, I know what sounds good, I know what doesn't sound good.
Sure.
And this dude was the same way. Like Blake, I'll be like, nah, man, fucking bring it up here and tweak it, like, and do this, blah blah blah. and that dude just nothing. You know, like it was and
It's such
dude,
a weird mentality,
dude.
man.
He's a killer guitarist. Like he's fucking. I'll give him that all fucking day. I
Sure.
don't know. I have no idea if he still play. I don't know. But he's incredible.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking asshole.
But even when you're good at something, you still have to be open to.
Well, that's the thing,
someone
like, dude,
giving
if
you
you're
an
gonna be a dickhead and like, you know, you're gonna ruin a fucking band over your attitude number, which is what happened. Like, he totally dissolved the band because he was a fucking baby, and you know, then you're talking shit on me for no fucking reason. Which
God,
like,
that happens. That happens so frequently.
dude,
in bands.
if I cause shit, like I've apologized to people plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
you know, and
So
I'm like, fuck it, whatever, man, cool, you know.
I'm man enough to admit my mistakes, dude. Definitely.
Yeah. But you know, and like, but the thing is like, but if you don't want to fucking clear the air, fuck you then. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Until you can apologize or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
And if I don't want to apologize, it's the same way. Like I want to apologize to you if I'm fucking holding on to something. But he did that. Like he came up to me in at a tattoo shop, and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? It's been a long time." And Jake was with me, and the guy's little brother was with me, and I just turned to him. I was like, "Dude, don't fucking talk to me."
Hasn't been long enough,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
And I was like, "Don't fucking talk to me unless you want to apologize." And
Yeah.
he just kind of, you know.
Still didn't apologize?
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
But he was so like, oh my god, somebody just called me out in public.
That almost embarrassed.
He couldn't, dude. He like walked away like head down, like, oh fuck, you know. And same thing happened with Nick, you know, like Nick, you know, he was having some issues being the bass player for Beastwood, and the way he quit was not super acceptable.
Sure.
And I was just like, fine, man, whatever. And he started like, he was being, and we were like, cool, whatever, fuck it, let it go. And you know, we didn't say anything bad about him, but I think he thought that it was like worse than what it was. And so when he would see us in public, he would like dip out. And I finally ran into him at another a different tattoo shop than like this last one. And I was in the middle of like having a conversation. I was like, hold on a second, because I saw him, and it was the first time I saw him in public. I just went right to his face. I was like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I was like, do we have a problem, or do you want to solve this? Like,
Yeah.
how do you want to do this? Do you want to talk? You know, what's the problem? You know, because I'm tired of you leaving whenever I walk into a room.
And it's so weird too. It's like, why not just fucking talk about it and get it straightened out? Like even if we walk away still not happy with each other, at least we know what the fuck happened.
At least you know where I'm at.
We know where each other's at now.
And
if you don't see eye to eye, it is what it is. But at least you have some closure on it. You know?
That's what I wish would go away in town.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard to get rid of, is because when we were talking earlier is, you know, we do all of our own, or most of our own shit now. Like, we had such a bad experience shooting our first music video that even if it's not great, I shoot our music videos now. You know what I mean?
That's part of the reason why I do all of our own production.
Exactly. Like, and that's why
it's not great, but
I had a podcast for like Casper artists and like and shit like that. And the reason I did that is because anyone else that did it was a fucking asshole, or they, you know, didn't showcase who needed to be they were super like, well, I don't want to talk to you.
And that's,
and I'm like, why?
That was one of the biggest things with mine, is like, I know that there are people in this town who don't necessarily have the greatest idea of me. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
If you still want to come in and talk, I don't care, dude.
And that's what I said to, like, dude, I was trying to bring in, like, I had comedians that wanted to talk to me. I had fucking people that were just, you know, bigger figures in the town. Musicians, everything. And, you know, I had to stop doing that for personal shit. But, you know, it was still like, at least regardless if I had a problem with you or not, or if you had a problem with me, you were still more than welcome.
Yeah, you're still welcome to come in. You know, there was when I had the band So Called in here. I went through a little, well, it wasn't actually directed at me. We actually ended up talked about it and figured it out. But there was a comment from someone on the post after the video got posted, and it was one of their former band members, and I will not name names, but he was just like, thanks for inviting me to a podcast with my own band. Which first and foremost,
dude,
they're not even a band anymore.
Up.
They're not even a band anymore. They were just getting on here to talk about the album that they released or are releasing.
Yeah, because
they split up. And so first and foremost, it's like, they're not even a band anymore. And secondly, like, I responded to him, and I was like, hey man,
you're more than welcome to come.
Alex got a hold of me and told me he wanted to come in for a podcast. I was like, it's not up to me to determine who comes in and who doesn't. Like, if you want to bring the whole band in, bring it in.
Like today, I was supposed to bring fucking Blake.
There was,
you know, thanks for answering your phone. You know?
Blake, wake up, man. There's a show going on. Speaking of which, show plug. We're over an hour. We're like cool. Well over an hour.
Oh
at
fuck,
this
man.
point,
It doesn't. Whatever. It doesn't bother me.
But speaking of Blake, show plugs. I know this won't post until probably tomorrow, but there is a show tonight. I'm pretty sure there's a show tonight at Staggers.
Dude, weather? Who knows?
I'm not sure, but I'm going regardless. Supposed to be Millennial Falcon, North Grant and
Electric Fangs.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. For
I
the
made,
life
dude,
of me.
I made the flyer for it.
I love that flyer, by
and
the way.
it was just a quick little thing, but
I like the wavy.
Yeah,
thing.
I made the flyer for it, and Blake had sent me all the names, and I just wrote them out the way he said them. And then like the guy he was sending it to was like, "This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong," and so it comes back on me, and I'm like, "You illiterate motherfucker, just tell me what it is." And dude, I made like 4 versions of it, so finally we got the right one
It
out.
worked
So
out.
that's the only reason I know the name, is because I had to type it 17 fucking times.
What what is it?
Electric Fangs,
Electric Fangs,
Millennial
okay.
Falcon,
And North Grant.
North Grant.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
tonight at Staggers. I think kicks off around 6:30 or 7.
Yeah, doors are at 6:30, shows at 7. It's
Perfect.
free. If you do end up going and you're watching this and you can time travel, donations for each band. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Let's
Dude, we summoned him. Get
hold
him
on.
on the phone. Put him on speaker.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Hey,
what's up,
you're
Blake?
actually on the podcast right now. What are you doing?
We got you here, buddy.
Oh, fuck yeah. I am just waking up. I did some snow removal because I'm a piece of shit.
Did I not say wake up?
Yeah, see, there you go. So here, plug all your stuff. You play in Beastwood, and then you play in Advise Against.
Yeah, Advise Against Beastwood.
Drifter.
We got a little band called Drifter.
Yeah.
What else we got? Fuck. I mean, I was back in Jew and the Decas.
Yeah, Judecca.
Oh,
yeah.
Judecca. Oh, fuck. I forgot all about that band,
And
man.
then
Eternal Hate.
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a little underground one called Read the Architect, but that was Judecca before Judecca happened.
Dude,
Nice.
we were literally just talking about the show at Staggers for tonight.
When you called, yeah.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious.
we didn't
I
know.
literally just posted a video about it. Millennial Falcon cannot make it into town.
That's what I figured. So that's why I was asking.
Is
so.
it still going on, though, Blake?
As far as I know, I'm going there. North Grant sounds like they're down to still play.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I can't really hear anything from Electric Fangs yet, but I know they got to play a little later because their bass player has so he has some kind of job that he has to work later at. I have no clue of that. That's
Are they from
literally
here?
what I'm waiting on. Electric Fangs, yeah, it's basically Six Gun Dead with Speed the Pilgrim and Juice Falcon.
What?
Really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Fuck, I didn't know that.
It's Travis
interesting.
from Speed the Pilgrim, and then
Oh shit.
Juice
Okay,
Falcon.
I like
it's,
Travis.
Jim, I think his name is. He's the old drummer. He was the second drummer, I believe, for Juice Falcon.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Big, tall dude with a beard. He's super rad. And then old Joel from Six Gun Dead.
Oh, nice.
Dude, nice.
That
Okay.
sounds like a good
Wow,
band.
we learned a lot just now.
Yeah,
Holy
thank
shit.
you for calling, you asshole.
Hey, as long as I can show up fashionably late and not even be there, I'm good with it.
Attaboy. You still made it on the podcast, man. So Blake Kite, ladies and gentlemen, you made it.
Did you have anything important, or were you just calling me to get back to me?
Oh, yeah, I was getting back to you because, I kind of spaced off. And like I said, I started doing some snow removal. My buddy's all like, hey, you want to make some money?
There you
I was
go.
like, sure.
Yeah, fuck it. Can't blame you.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Right.
Well, I'll text you here in a little bit. We're just kind of like,
We're wrapping up here.
yeah, somewhere in there. We'll get it figured out.
All right, dog. And then just remember, dude, keep them feet loose.
Like, goodbye.
Later, buddy. So Blake Kite, ladies and gentlemen, he actually did make it on the podcast.
There you go.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So do you have like a time limit on this thing, or
Not
what's the
really.
situation?
I am going to meet up with a couple of friends for a cup of coffee before the show happens. So,
Okay, what time are you doing that?
Around 5 o'clock. So,
Okay, so let's get all this shit in then.
sure, let's do it.
What were we just talking about? We were
talking about the show, and we were talking
yeah.
about
So you were getting ready to plug like local shows.
Yes.
And that's the only one I know of that's coming up.
Yeah, the only other one that I know of that's really pertinent at this time, and they just released it, the flyer a few days ago. Poetry No Pros,
right.
December 18th at Gruner Brothers. Shout out to Gruner Brothers again. I fucking love you guys. I love your beer. I love Poetry No Pros. They're doing a toy drive up there plus a show. So I think the way that it works is if you bring a toy, you go down and you buy a toy or donate to Toy Town or something like that, and then you come up, they'll give you a voucher and you get a free drink or free drinks. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure. All the info's on the flyer. Check it out. Go to their Facebook page. But that's the only other one that I know that's super pertinent, but that's a really, really good cause. So
Yeah, we're playing with the idea of putting a Christmas show together, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I was actually in talks with shout out to the Shivers. I was actually in talks with Travis Oliver a couple days ago. Well, it was like a week ago now about doing a Christmas show, but I think they ran into some issues with their recording schedule and things like that. And so I'm kind of in the same boat you are. I think at this point it might be a little late.
It's getting close.
Just for promotional reasons. It's a little late to book a Christmas show, but we're thinking maybe, how would you guys feel about maybe doing a New Year's show?
Yeah, dude, last time we played New Year's show was fucking awesome.
So maybe like Records, Beastwood, and maybe one other one, because we were thinking about maybe talking to Frosties and see if they wanted to do a New Year's show.
Man, the last time we played Frosties, we tore that shit apart.
Dude, and Frosties turns out for New Year's. Like,
oh yeah, we had such a blast there.
Last time we played there at New Year's, it was fucking off the wall, dude.
It was us and Juice Falcon, and it was just...
It's crazy. I was at that show. I came to that show.
Yeah.
That's right, dude. Fuck yeah. What a great show, man.
That show was awesome.
So I haven't talked to him yet, but maybe that's something I need to get on this week. And then if we can, I'll be in touch with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We're always down. But yeah, we were going to talk about some multimedia shit.
Yes.
So I also run a thing. So it's kind of... And again, this kind of goes back to either people being cool with it or not cool with it or whatever. I started taking our own band photos because we couldn't find anyone who was like reliable or wouldn't charge like a shitload for it. You know, that's the thing is like you gotta change your shit, especially for like bands, because bands are like a bunch of dudes that
we're broke as fuck, dude.
Somehow they scrape together some money for a guitar,
broke as fuck,
and the guitar is taped together. You know, and you know, so
if it's not the guitar, it's the mic stands. Most of the time, they're taped together.
So I started taking photos, and I feel like I'm pretty decent at photos. Like I like the band photos I take. I've worked with models and shit before. I went away to New York for not a couple years, but the plan was for a couple years, and to go to school out there and to start studying film and photography and stuff like that. So I started shooting some models up there. And that's what like gets you paid is if you work with that.
You got to do models,
But like local bands and stuff, I always try to shoot for free.
Ooh.
And just to like, number one, it helps me, it builds my portfolio. Number two, it gives you promotional shit, because I knew how shitty it was coming up and not being able to have that, and it fucking sucks.
I still don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm up.
That's the thing. Yeah, you guys are one of the more popular bands in town.
Oh, thank you.
And
I don't think so, but thank you.
Oh no, it's for real. It's like well, fuck, who is there now? It's you guys.
System Restore still
System
doing
Restore. I would say Beastwood, and then Get Bent is doing
Get
a
Bent,
lot.
Dude. Yeah, shout out Get Bent kids, dude. You guys are killing it.
You know, so I started doing music videos to just try to help out, and I'm way better at it now. But like again, like the last couple I've done, it was hard to kind of get them to go along with what needed to be done, because your lighting is going to be fucking 90% of what you need.
Everything, yeah.
And we had.
Do you have like the shades and stuff?
Yeah, I have all the shit now, but it's like, but now it's like either finding the time, because like I have a family.
Sure.
And so it's like, it's real. Got to like, okay, we got to do it at this time. And a lot of bands are super impatient.
Yep.
And like I did this video for Wolf Creek, which Jake Brunel was in.
Wolf Creek Hardcore, man. Shout out.
They did this video, and we were supposed to shoot it in the mountains, like in these trees.
Was that the one up on Casper Mountain up there?
And I fucking went, and I
you shot that?
Yeah, I did. I did all this research, and I like found like different trees, and I was like driving back in the mountains. I was like, you want this background? And I sent them all these fucking photos, and then it snowed like way bad. And I was like, and I told them, I was like, and I'm not placing blame on them or anything like that, but I was like, look,
the lighting's gonna be hard.
I was like, you guys, you want this type of video? We should wait. I was like, we should wait to get into this spot, or else it's not going to be the video.
If you shoot in the middle of the day on snow, your whole video is going to be white.
Jake and Jake, and they were like, well, we're up here, we might as well. And I was like, all right.
Yep.
And we went and shot it, and like, it's fine for what it is. They wanted an old school black and white, real up close, quick cut.
It's a good video. I like
video.
it. Yeah.
And that's all it was. But the problem is because of the time of day, because of the location that we had to use, it's fucking blown out.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It's all,
for me, I'm just like, fuck that video.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fine that it did well for them, and they got a shitload of views on it, and it helped him. And it was the same thing for Get Bent. Like when we were trying to shoot this video, like the house that we were using, the lights were fucking terrible. We couldn't use the lights that I had, and it was like the doors were fucking like this big. It was hard as shit to shoot in there. And then the garage looked fine. You know, he wanted this kind of yellow tinge to it, and just this one overhead light. Got it. You know, whatever. Yeah. You know, that's exactly. And he said, he's like, that's exactly how I want it to look. Don't fuck with anything else.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
I won't color correct anything. I won't
easy
do this.
for you. It
I'm
makes your job
easy.
Yeah.
So you know, I tried doing that, but now since there's been a bunch of shit that happened. So I sort of had to like shut down, and like now I'm trying to like revamp it. So I'm trying to get bands to work with in terms of just like getting band photos, or like any like girls that like want to do something for like modeling or whatever.
You're talking to one of them right here. Not the girls, but you're talking to one of the bands right here, man.
But no, yeah. So anybody that wants to at least do band photos for
I didn't know you were doing music videos too, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, I was.
We need to talk.
Well, I did the new Beastwood one, and that was a take, and it looks shitty on purpose because there's an old black metal band, and all of them, but there's one called Immortal, and they shot this horrible horrible video
Yeah.
up in the, and they're just like wandering around. It's fucking stupid. And I was like, let's do that.
Use that as
Let's just
inspiration.
go play up in the woods in black metal paint, and then we'll put like a little spin on it. So when you watch it, we're up in the woods. And like you see like me and Blake and Tanner, and we're all like fucking, you know, corpse paint on and in like these big hoods. And then it fucking pans up on Jake, and he's in full blown fucking clown makeup. And he starts doing tricks throughout the fucking video.
Dude,
he's like pulling
what?
scarves out of it, and he's like fucking, he like pulls like a fucking big ass coin out of the fucking camera's ear and shit.
Nice.
It's fucking stupid.
Is when does that come out?
Oh, that's out.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. So to plug Beastwood.
Yeah, do it.
Well, okay. Let's back up. So my multimedia thing.
Yes.
It's called American Murder Company. If you want band photos, I can do that now. If you know any girls who are like trying to like, if you want to be a model or you're trying to submit for this or this, I can help you out, or at least I can get you in touch with people who can.
Okay.
Like I know fucking photographers all over.
Do you have a Facebook page for that?
No, because I shut everything down. But I do have a website right now. It's called AmericanMurderCompany.com.
Okay. Send that to me in Messenger, and I'll put it on the. I'll put it in the link.
I'll get that
or in the description.
So yeah, band photos, anything like that.
Okay.
And then fuck, what else was
Do you do promo shoots or anything for stuff?
Yeah, we'll do stuff
product
like that.
promo shoots.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have all the lights and shit for that.
Cool.
Sometimes it's kind of, and I've actually done that in New York. I took photos of cups for somebody.
See, that's what I was asking. Like, if we've got some neat little thing.
Yeah. So I've done that.
Okay.
And fuck, what else was I gonna say?
You were plugging local shows and bands and music videos, and it's okay. I do that.
But yeah, so we were gonna do that, and then you were gonna ask me some shit before we wrapped up.
Yeah, mainly what I was going to ask you, because I know that you did. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to youtube.com, type in Jason Ford, and look up the Ford and Fossil stuff. He's got a few videos that Jeff shot up in the mountains.
Oh yeah. So I'll do that too. By the way, like that's easy enough to do. What I wanted to do is any guys who are acoustic or even lower, like a full blown like metal band, it wouldn't really work.
You're right.
But I wanted to like showcase like more like, because like you know, Chase from Figures in Fiction.
Sandoval, yeah.
Dude.
He gets on every podcast too. What up, Chase?
That guy.
Shout out.
He's
a monster, dude. He's a fucking monster.
He's
it's
like,
incredible.
He's one of the few, and I'm not taking away from anybody else in town.
No.
But he's one of those guys that like when I watch him play, especially when I first met him, I was like pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's upsetting how good he is. He wanted me to shoot the video for him too, and I couldn't do it. And so he got this other guy to do it, you know, so I was like, fuck, I missed out on that.
I saw the very first time I saw Chase Sandoval play. We'll get back to shout outs here in a second and plugs and all that. But the very first time I saw Chase Sandoval play was actually at Rocca's. And me and Jason were like kind of song switching one night, and he decided to come up and play. I think it was like an open mic night kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he got up there and played, and I didn't know who the kid was, never met him before, met him that night, and he got up there and started playing. Same thing. I was like, this little motherfucker.
Dude,
like, holy shit, this kid is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, if you search Jason Ford, also American Murder Company on YouTube, I shot all these like acoustic, like just kind of like nice backgrounds that like Blake's on there.
Yeah.
We went up to the event center and just got
and
like
those
Casper
are all done
in the
on
background.
your, like with your microphone, right?
Yeah,
on your camera.
It's a great microphone. The camera, there's like really no, like I might have like bounced some shit a little bit, but I didn't go full blown. It looks fucking great.
Yeah.
Chase, I put out this thing. I was like, hey, you know, if you guys just want to come and just play some songs, you know, whatever you want to do to promote your band, it like gets you out there, it helps local artists, just shit that I want to help out with, you know, the same way Blake is doing these shows at Staggers. And Chase, she's just like, yeah, I'd like to do it. And I knew nothing about him. And he goes and he plays this fucking song. And like, I love his new record. I think it sounds incredible. But this fucking song, we went in this like hallway, this like dark, like dingy hallway, and the fucking sound was incredible in there. And he played this song called Starting Point. That's on that YouTube. And that song, fucking the lyrics, dude, it's just
like giving you chills.
Dude,
and
it
shit.
fucking hits me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking cry for a while. And dude, that song is so fucking. And I told him, and like, I never get in anybody's business with anything. And again, this is more like the producer side of like where I kind of want to do that. I sent him on Messenger one night. I was like, dude, you've got to do something with that song, man. I was like, that song has it. And like I'm not trying to be mean, but like the first recording he had of it sounds like shit.
Okay.
Because he's got someone singing on there, and that's what it is.
It is what it is.
And he's got someone else singing on there, and they're off key.
Okay.
It sounds horrible.
Okay.
But the version that he did when he played it in that fucking tunnel for me, and I was just kind of walking back and forth, just recording him. Dude, it's fucking incredible.
I'll have to look that up. I don't think I've seen that one, but I'll have to check that out for sure.
And I was so disappointed that it wasn't on his new record.
Yeah.
And but yeah, check that out. And that's, you know, if anybody wants to do shit like that, that's fucking an hour shoot. Who gives a fuck? And but yeah, you know, check out Blake's shit. Keep fucking supporting Matt.
Hey, thanks.
You know, records, all that shit. Beastwood Band on everything. It's beastwoodband.com.
Yep.
Facebook.com/beastwoodband.
Definitely.
We're on Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Records, Ford and Fossil, Presley Avenue. Speaking of those 3 bands in particular, show plug.
Another show
We
that was
just agreed to a show, and I don't even think Brad Lofton knows about it yet, but he's the one that's putting it on. We just agreed to a show yesterday. All 3 of those bands are going to be at the Bayou on December 27th at the Bayou. Records, Presley Avenue, and Ford and Fossil. And I think I'm not exactly sure all the details on it yet, but that will be coming out at some point. So keep an eye out for that one. Pretty much the same thing at the end of every episode, man. Go out, watch local shows. I'm going to one tonight. I don't know if you're going to make it to that one.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
My wife, she works nights, so I don't get to see her, and she's only off on the weekends.
Oh,
so I'm going to see if I can
we talked about that. If you can't, you can't. It is what it is. But if you can, please make an effort to go out. There's a big movement happening in Casper with music and with local bands, with local business, with local community. Like everything's kind of starting to come together.
And I'll kind of tack on with that is a lot of people say the band's kind of like, or that this town's like a roller coaster. Like it hits its peaks and then fucking hits its lows. Right now, it's fucking really ramping up, especially with local business, and that's the reason. He's doing this, and I've done it before, and other people have, but it's the time to really start fucking putting it together and either helping out or doing whatever you can, like I said, what Blake is, or like what he is,
helping people wake up, basically. Like,
yeah, and then just watch his shit, listen to anybody else that's trying to do anything like this, because it just helps the bands. Go to the fucking shows, and then hopefully, since I don't feel like we even really like scratched the surface on anything.
Well, God, we could talk for 4 hours,
hopefully I can come back. Have Blake back.
Let's get the full band in here.
Get the rest of fuck it. Absolutely. But keep supporting this. Keep doing whatever. And then you and I can talk a little bit off about. There's some people I think you should get in here that I think is going to be
absolutely, because I'm compiling a list still. So I've got open dates. If you're looking for a spot, just hit me up. We'll get a time going. I think I'm pretty well booked through December, but first of the year, man, we're going to start hitting it hard again.
Fuck yeah, man. No, I appreciate you having me in.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely.
And if anyone doesn't fucking tell you that, it's bullshit. Because they really should, because it does nothing but help.
Thank you, man. I seriously appreciate that. Well, we'll wrap it up on that. Keep an eye out for podcast next week. I've got some cool stuff coming up that I'm not going to disclose yet because it's going to be some kind of off the wall, different kind of shit. But keep an eye out, and thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Beastwood.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.